Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, the next Dragon Ball Z game. Anyone who's been keeping up with this would know that this game is going to be mainly focused around changing the timeline of Dragon Ball. And just as an example, you know how when Goku decided not to kill Vegeta in the official timeline? Well, in Xenoverse 2, you have the choice to go back and change that timeline into your own. Now, we don't know everything about how this is going to work and which specific events we're going to be able to change, so that's what I want to talk about today. Now, straight away, if we go to the start of the series, and I don't think we're going to have anything pre-Dragon Ball Z. I don't think we're going to have Kid Goku. The only thing we're going to be able to change before Z is the stuff with Bardock. Right here, this is hands down the most exciting thing about Xenoverse 2. So we see Bardock, but who is that right there? And who is that on the other side of him? It's obviously Goku and Frieza from Resurrection F, but Bardock wasn't in Resurrection F, so like, what's going on? This all relates back to the changing of the timeline. Let's just say that you choose to instant transmission to before Bardock died, take him out of that war zone with Frieza, and into the timeline where he sees his son. That would be amazing, because right before Bardock died, we saw visions of him seeing his son fight Frieza, but we never actually got to see Bardock interact with Goku. Now, we kind of have an opportunity to make this a reality, if obviously you choose to go down that path. Now, going through the rest of the Dragon Ball Z timeline, obviously we have Raditz Goku dying. I don't think there's any real reason to change that, because if Goku didn't die, he wouldn't be getting training from King Kai. But no, if they gave me the opportunity to save Goku in that instance, I probably wouldn't take it, because we need Goku to go through the Kaioken training, the Spirit Bomb training. It needed to happen. However, moving down the timeline by 1 year when Vegeta and Nappa arrive, one thing I've always wanted to see happen is Vegeta die against Goku, just to see how the series would be like without Vegeta. And if they give me the opportunity to do that, I'm definitely going to take it. Now, this is skipping ahead quite a bit, but it looks like it's going to be the main focus point of the game. Future Trunks and Future Gohan. Obviously Gohan dies in the Future Trunks timeline, but we see here that he's alive, and he's talking to Trunks right here. So what this looks like is that Gohan is going to be saved. I don't know a single person who doesn't want to save Future Gohan. Honestly, it feels like there's so much stuff you could go back and change, like even the little stuff like the body changing with Ginyu. Maybe we could make him change bodies with Frieza. That would be sick. I'm not expecting that, but that'd be really cool. However, I do think there's a lot of potential for changing things in the Buu saga specifically, because we all know Majin Buu, he can absorb people, right? So he can pretty much become whoever he wants. This is getting almost crazy fanfiction-like, but let's say he absorbs Majin Vegeta when he's fighting him, or even crazier, instead of finishing off Majin Buu with a Spirit Bomb. As we all know, the Spirit Bomb wasn't the only way that Kid Buu could have died. We had Gohan and Gotenks who both equally could have taken out Kid Buu, but that's not the point. The point is, there should be different ways to take out the final villain. In this case, it's Majin Buu, but let's just say, if we were fighting Cell, let's imagine that Gohan died against Cell. Maybe we could bring a pair of Potara earrings to Tien and Yamcha, and then they could take out Cell. Obviously, I'm joking, but here are the top 5 things that I would change in the Dragon Ball timeline. Just really quickly, number 5, I would kill Vegeta back in the Saiyan saga. For me, it's way too tempting not to do, and it's something I've always wanted to see. And I guess if we need him back in the story later, we could revive him, but at the time, I would not have stopped Krillin. Number 4, I would have loved to have seen what happened if Krillin actually killed Frieza with the Destructo Disc. We saw him cut off his tail and that was about it, but what if it sliced him through the chest? Would that have made Krillin the strongest man in the universe? The answer to that is yes. The next one I guess is pretty obvious. Save Future Gohan. It's going to be doable in a few months anyway. Now this next one is only going to be me. I'm going to be the only one in the world who thinks this. Cell killing Gohan. Obviously this wouldn't happen in the main timeline, but I would love to see a Cell that actually went on to become stronger. I want to see a Cell that has gone around to multiple planets and absorbed multiple different species, multiple different races. Kind of like the Cell we saw in Dragon Ball Multiverse, just an OP version of Cell. I think that'd be really cool. And now the final thing that I'd change in the Dragon Ball timeline is Majin Buu. I want to see more of this Buu. We didn't see much of him in the actual series. He is pretty much just the evil manifestation of the good Buu. So we'll see what happens, but that has been changing the Dragon Ball timeline. I want to thank you all for watching, and until we meet again, I will see you in the next Dragon Ball video.